So, for this first question, let's start with you, Jackson. Do you anticipate this race at Atlanta to be more different than the past few races with this configuration?
I, I'm very interested to see what happens this weekend. I feel like, I mean, year three, right? You had the first year, and then you have the second year where like you have 1 year of knowledge, and now as you enter the third year, it's like you actually have a bank of knowledge. But it's very interesting this Atlanta track because it's not every time you try to categorize it as like a super speedway, it's not a super speedway. It's a drafting track. It's like we brought back the last few years of the Gen 6. It's that performance of the car. I mean, to an extreme extent. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see what happens this weekend. I think it's going to be different than what we've seen the last few years. I think it's going to be really exciting because I think as fun as the Daytona and Talladega like pack drafting racing is fun, I think Atlanta is fun because there's cars are you're not as tight together because of how tight the track is. You're forced to make moves, and I think that's more exciting and allows for more racing beyond the cars just being like next to each other.
The racing's going to be really interesting in Atlanta, I feel, this year. Looking at what's going on so far in qualifying, we're seeing cars bumping around at different parts of the track. We see some patchwork, so I got an idea this could be a little bit of a different race from the past. I wouldn't call it the same as what we saw last July under the lights, cooler conditions, but everyone was going really hard. I think we're going to see a little bit where the handling is going to be a big issue. You're going to have a good, fast car. I'm really curious. We haven't seen this in Talladega or Daytona in a really long time where you could get a breakaway of five, six cars. They get single file, they pull away from the pack, and then you got the pack there. I think that could be a really interesting element if we see that at Atlanta Motor Speedway, just because of handling becoming an issue. And this race overall, we've seen it where in the past, especially the last one, it has gone pretty much good, solid racing, good green flag. If they start off behind the eight ball because their car's not handling well, it's going to be a long first stage. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the strategies, pit stops, and everything. And of course, the timing of the inevitable cautions still, I think it could happen.